President-elect of the United States, Donald Trump, has been sentenced to an unconditional discharge in his hush money trial. This development brings to an end the first criminal trial of a former U.S. president. The sentence in the hush money payment case means the incoming president has been spared any penalty, including jail time or a fine. Donald Trump appeared in a video call from Florida where he declared he was totally innocent. Mr. Trump will take office as the first U.S. president with a felony conviction. Well, let's talk some more about this. Joining us is global affairs analyst Ibidolapo Ajayi, and he joins us from Houston in Texas. Good to have you join us, Mr. Ajayi. In just 10 days, Donald Trump would return to the White House as the 47th president of the United States. What do you make of this unconditional discharge sentencing today?
Hi, Abosede. Thanks for having me. In reality, the sentence passed today is not going to have any effect on his ability to perform his role as the next president of the United States. Rather, it will just go down in history to be the first convicted felon to be president. And you can be sure that Donald Trump will be appealing this to have this removed from his record. That's really the reason for his angst.
But how is this likely to impact his presidency?
For someone that's been there before, like Trump, that already has an agenda that he wants to pursue when he gets back into office, I don't think he's going to hamper him at all. But he's going to be looking at making changes at the Department of Justice, because he's always reiterated that this is a witch hunt and this was a targeted attack by the Department of Justice, weaponized by the current President Biden. But the truth of the matter is, this was a case that was brought by the state of New York. It was not a federal case, so he had to answer to the jury of his people. So really, the only thing I see happening is him probably trying to figure out how to get back at all those like perceives as antagonists and people that he feels persecuted him unjustly.
And you know, in all of this, Trump has maintained his innocence, and he even believes that this trial was not meant to be at all. How does this, describe the incoming president?
So for him, he's kind of benefited from this, really, politically, because when this court case came out, he just this very same thing that you mentioned, he used it as a basis to rally his base, because he came out and said he was being persecuted, and that solidified his base behind him, and it was as a result of that he was able to be swept back into office. But legally, it's a challenge that he will probably pursue all the way to the Supreme Court. And if you go by the ruling that we had yesterday, when the Supreme Court backed out of making a decision on the ruling that was given today, you can almost suspect that he has a fair chance of having this ruling overturned if it gets to the apex court. But politically, I think he will see it as political money to spend and to convince his base and his supporters that now that he's in power, he's going to make severe changes in the Department of Justice and also across all the government parastatals.
And indeed, it's been, it marked the end of a long legal saga, as it were, for the president-elect, who many have described as a cat with nine lives, But what does this speak about the U.S. and its justice system?
Well, it speaks a lot that no one is above the law. And that's the message that Judge Machen was passing today, that all the charges that were brought against him were done based on himself as a citizen of the United States, not as the president or former president. So he had to answer to the jury of his people. So really, it speaks to the fact that the institutions are still very strong. The position of the presidency is revered, but whoever occupies that seat is also expected to be above board. And if you violate the laws of the land, you are bound to face the music. The one thing that's gone for him is the immunity clause that the Supreme Court gave in his favor, that if he performs anything in his duty as president, he should have immunity against such issues. And that's probably one of the things that's working in his favor right now.
And I'd love to know how people over there where you are in Texas are reacting to this judgment.
The moment I feel it's a little bit of an indifference, because everybody knows it's not going to make any impact on him becoming president. in 10 days. He's not going to jail. There's no time served, and he's basically just going to dismiss it. Again, he's just going to continue to plead his innocence and say it was a witch hunt against him, a political witch hunt. So right now, people are just basically just not really making much of it. You know, it's not going to affect his position as president.
Right.
This was something that was happening way before the elections, and he still won. So at the present time, everybody's accepted that he's going to be the next president. None of these legal charges against him are going to stop him from being sworn in 10 days as the 47th president.
All right, then. Global Affairs Analyst Davidola Kwajayi, thank you so much for your time on TVC News at 10.
Thank you for having me.